Need a cell phone? Come on over. Come and get one.
Right.
Need education? Come and get one. My problem is, if they're giving away free education, am I supposed to honor that as like relevant as a business owner?
Well, I don't think that they look at it that you're going to ask.
Now, I mean, as it stands right now, I wouldn't ask, but now that I know that they're giving it away to every fucking chump.
Yeah, now you got to wonder, who's this guy or gal that I'm considering hiring? Do they have any work ethic?
Well, they've proven that they don't. More than likely, they'll have proven that they don't, because they don't have to work and go to school.
Right.
They don't have to work to get it. I'm not going to give a fuck about that degree. You know, as far as I'm concerned, now you're just raising the bar to a master's. You know, because anything below that, they're going to give you, or they're going to give you what, an associate's? They're going to give you a 2-year degree?
Yeah, a 2-year degree.
So you only got to go for 2 years to get a fucking 4-year degree? That devalues the 4-year degree to me.
I would agree with that.
Fucking stupid. You know? And that's all that people are going to do. People don't want to hire. People don't give a, business owners don't give a fuck about, right now, about how you got your degree. Your degree, the reason that a degree matters, they don't care if you have a degree in theology or fucking English or the actual job you're getting ready to do. The reason that people care about the degree is because it proves that you know how to work.
Sure.
That's why 90%, I mean, obviously some careers the degree matters, but for the average career that asks for a college degree right now, they just want to prove that you have a work ethic.
Absolutely.
And now you're not going to have that. So nobody's going to give a shit about this fucking dumb 2-year degree. Stupid.
I agree, man. It's a different world we live in.
Man, this fucking guy, these 2 years cannot go by soon enough, can they?
I'm in full agreement with that as well.
And if they put that fucking twat in there behind him, I swear to Christ, that's my end game. If it's Hillary Clinton, I'm going to go up and live in the cold with Motorhome and
there you go.
Rocks and whoever.
Yeah.
I can't deal with 8 more years of this.
Sure.
You know, I'll be run out of business.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. Not too thrilled with Mr. Boehner there from Ohio either.
He's a fucking faggot.
Yeah. What's up with the spray on man tan all the time?
I don't know. What's up with the crying all the time and the man tan and the flip flopping and, you know, saying that you're going to fight right up until it's time to actually fight and then fucking sucking Obama's cock. Guy's a fucking fag. He really is.
Yeah, grow a pair, will you?
Yeah, no shit.
You're in charge now. Grow a pair.
Yeah, grow a pair of something.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, fuck. I don't even care if he has testicles or not. Just fucking honor the commitment that you made, you dick.
Right. And now that you have the power behind you, go use it.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. What can they do to you?
Yeah. Nothing.
Nothing.
Not a damn thing.
Exactly.
But maybe that'll affect his future president.
Yeah, please.
Nobody's going to elect that crying boob.
He's a sensitive man.
Yeah, whatever. Shut up. Shut up. I like to cry, too. I ain't going to lie. But I'll be honest. Cry about shit that's important, not fucking, you know, the Keystone fucking oil bill.
Right.
What's fucking wrong with this guy?
Sure.
It didn't pass.
Right.
Shut up,
Right.
fag.
Right.
Suck it up.
Exactly.
Jeez.
Well, speaking of government stuff, I don't know if you've seen it or not.
Probably not.
On Netflix, since I know you're a big documentary guy like me.
I am.
Frontline released a two-part series.
Okay.
It's called The United States of Secrets.
Not seen it.
And it's all about the the Patriot Act and the NSA and the Snowden documents and all that.
Hold on a second. Philly Pat in the chat room. Chris cries over sticks. That's a good throwback. All right, go ahead.
But I watched that yesterday.
Okay.
It's each episode is about an hour and a half.
Right.
So it's about a 3-hour thing.
Okay.
But I think you'd really appreciate that because they actually interview a lot of the key people who, were responsible or had some kind of a part in either blowing the whistle on or approving the unwarranted wiretapping and the collection of emails and, so on and so forth.
Okay, what's it called?
It's called the United States of Secrets.
All right, I'm going to have to check that one out.
It's really good. Very well done. It's done by Frontline, I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're looking for something to watch, it's not documentary. It's just a good show that, again, deals with secrets and all that kind of shit. On Amazon Prime, the first 2 seasons of The Americans.
Yeah. I got an email because I bought the first episode of Archer.
Okay.
I love that show.
Archer's funny, man.
Archer. They're back to being ISIS now.
Oh, are they already?
Yeah, but they're not calling themselves ISIS, but they're back in their office and stuff now. So
nice.
So they're back to the old organization. Because last season was kind of bizarre. Mm-hmm. It was just kind of a weird, disjointed season, but now they're back to their old selves, and I forgot it was on Thursday, so I had to go to Amazon and go get it.
Right.
And it was just like, holy shit, now they're back to their old antics again.
Oh, that's good.
Archer is just he's so fucking funny.
He's just an asshole.
That Lana,
yeah,
she used his sperm, right? He's the father, right? You know that?
Yeah.
And so his mother, she said, who told you to use his goop?
His goop.
His goop.
Jesus.
His goop. And he was calling this guy shit nuts. That show just cracks me up something awful.
There's probably people who've never watched it and are trying to figure out what the fuck are these two talking
about.
Well,
the whole 5 seasons of Archer is on Netflix right now.
So good.
And the new season just started Thursday.
Right.
Season 6.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Right where it picked up right where it left off,
It
right?
did. It's just so good.
That's cool.
That's another like a Sons of Anarchy. I'll be sad when that series ends.
Right.
Because
I'm surprised you don't just buy the season on fucking Amazon.
I didn't think about it. I just
probably like $20.
I just might have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I know Sons was $24.
Well, I'll go on there since I'm an Amazon Prime member. I'll see if I can buy the season.
I'm sure you probably can.
So, back to the same old stuff. Archer rules.
Yep, hell yeah.
Just love it. But he was in the jungle.
Yeah.
And he ran into one of these Japanese soldiers that didn't realize World War II was over.
All right.
And so he made friends with this Japanese guy.
Okay.
And they were talking, and this Japanese guy hadn't seen his family and stuff for over 60 years, Yeah. And he was talking about Lana having his baby and this and that, and he wasn't ready to be a father and stuff, and this old Japanese guy is lamenting how he had to leave his wife and kid behind to go fight the war.
Right.
And was basically call him a what did he call him? Something like a dickweed or something like that for not appreciating the fact that he has a kid.
Right.
He goes, well, you just wait till I get back to the mainland. I'm going to parent the shit out of that kid.
It's funny.
So you got to see it, man. It's just funny.
Yeah, I'm sure I will. Give me some Archer.
Oh, God damn it. So anyway, Lana, he basically ran away after he found out that he was the father to Lana's kid.
Okay.
And she says, you're probably held up somewhere in some jungle aisle somewhere where you're drinking Cobra whiskey and entertaining lady boys.
Right.
And there you could hear these two that sounded like two girls laughing in the shower.
Right.
And he goes in there and they go, "You owe us 50,000 whatever." And he goes, "Well, there'll be 30,000 more if you're genetically correct."
Right.
And they basically pull the shower curtain back and all you could see him from the back. And he goes, "Oh boy."
Nice.
So speaking of lady boys,
Okay.
I think you know where I'm going with
Oh,
this.
you're going.
I read an article this week that I sent over to you, and I know that you posted it on your Facebook.
So funny.
But when I read this, I was just I just couldn't believe what I was reading.
And then it's true.
And it's true.
Good.
Well, apparently Russia lists transgender people among those unfit to drive. Let me say that again.
That's right.
Russia lists transgender people among those unfit to drive.
Okay.
So, according to the AP in Moscow,
Yeah.
new Russian road safety regulations bar transsexuals, transvestites, and other sexual disorders from driving, ostensibly for medical reasons. The new regulations have been criticized by rights activists who see them as unconstitutional. I didn't know Russia had a constitution.
I was going to say, does Russia have a constitution?
Yeah. And likely to exacerbate an already hostile climate for the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community in Russia.
Okay.
The new regulations have been criticized by rights activists who see them as unconstitutional and likely to exacerbate an already hostile climate for the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community in Russia.
Okay.
I hadn't heard of any uprisings in Russia. I would think that, especially Russia, that if there were any kind of uprising of people of that ilk, they would have probably squashed that by now.
Well, maybe that's why you didn't hear about it.
Exactly. The new Russian rules banning people from driving because of their gender identity are ridiculous and unlawful.
How many people do you think this affects in Russia? 3?
Unlawful?
Unlawful.
Unlawful where?
Well, obviously they don't want to handle a stick shift.
Yeah, but my point is what laws are they applying to Russia?
I don't know. Maybe does Russia must have some sort of a constitution.
Well, I'm sure that they do, but if it was, against Russian law, I don't know that how they could, enact regulations like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Nils Musnieks,
Guilty.
Yeah, Human Rights Commissioner for the Council of Europe, said in a message posted Friday, of course, on Facebook.
Of course.
This is where officials release their announcements is on Facebook.
That's right. That's how you reach the world.
Okay. He urged Russia to immediately amend the rules to remove this ban.
Why?
So if it's unlawful, why do they need to amend the rules?
Yeah, if that's the rule that they passed and they run their government, who gives a fuck what someone else says?
That's what I'm saying.
I agree.
The government resolution dated December 29th and signed by Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev, whatever. Lists numerous medical conditions, including mental and behavioral disorders, denied by the World Health Organization that the government believes disqualifies a person from a driving license.
Okay.
The resolution does not claim World Health Organization endorsement for the new driving restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
That is clearly not the intent of WHO's classifications, says Shekhar Saxena, director of WHO's mental health department. He said they were meant to lead to more reliable diagnosis. So, for example, when someone is diagnosed with a disease in Germany, they would get the same diagnosis in France.
Okay.
So they're just trying to standardize what the diagnoses are.
So let's be clear on what we're saying here. The Russians are saying their diagnosis is that if you want to be a tranny,
Yeah.
that you're crazy.
That you have a mental disorder.
And what? The World Health Organization doesn't like that?
Yeah,
so,
the World Health Organization says being a transgender is not a debilitating disease.
Okay.
They're just saying that the rest of the world does not look at that the same way that Russia does. And what they're trying to say is that, well, if it's not a mental disorder in France or Europe or England, it shouldn't be that way in Russia either.
Yeah, well, the rest of the world doesn't also look at all the laws of Russia as the same as their own.
Right.
So why should they give a fuck?
Right. The World Health Organization classification contains gender identity disorders such as transsexualism and disorders of sexual preference, including fetishism and voyeurism.
All right.
The organization, which has been under pressure for years to stop considering transgender people as mentally ill, is currently revising its international classification of diseases, which came into use in 1994. The revised version is due in 2017, according to WHO website. So, with that being said, WHO actually did classify transsexualism or transgenderism as a mental disorder, but they're trying to change that now.
Because they need to be politically correct.
Exactly. So even though they too are guilty of it, they're trying to change that law, and then they're trying to encourage Russia to do the same.
All right.
Saxena said that there are working groups considering whether gender identity should be deleted from the mental disorders chapter.
Yeah.
So currently, until the changes take effect in 2017, it's listed as a mental disorder.
Okay, well, let's put it in its proper place. You ready?
Yep.
Let's take out the transgender for a minute.
Okay.
If you're a guy and you, on a regular basis, decide to cut off a part of your body,
Marcy free.
No, not Mar. I don't want it to be your dick.
Okay. Okay.
Today you cut off your hand.
Okay.
Okay. Tomorrow you cut off your foot.
All right.
The next day you decide to cut off up your leg up to your knee. Okay.
All
With
right.
me so far?
Yep.
Are you mentally ill?
No.
No. How do you figure no? Of course you are.
Well, I mean, if you're compelled to cut off a healthy limb, then yes, I would agree with that.
If you're compelled to physically mutilate yourself.
Yeah, like people who pull out their hair, or, burn themselves or cut themselves or whatever it is that they do.
This is basically the same thing. Technically.
I guess.
I mean, I have a different take on this completely. I just find my honest to God take, and this will be where I'm way off the fucking politically correct map, but I don't think that there's any mental health problem at all. I just think that it's a pure and simple a product of political correctness, and instead of making people accept what they are and fucking deal with it, you just fucking, everybody wants to just say, oh, you could be whatever you want.
Yeah.
You want to be a girl, be a girl.
Sure.
You want to be you want to be a puppy, be a puppy.
Right.
Whatever. It's fucking pathetic. We don't have any standard at all anymore to make people, become what they're supposed to be. You know what? You're born with a cock, so learn how to use it.
Exactly.
Seriously.
I agree.
No, I mean, that's so fucking dumb. if you want to be a dude that sucks dick, fine, be a dude that sucks dick.
Right.
But you're not. I don't care how many laws, rules, changes, whatever that they try to make in this shit. You're never gonna convince straight people that a fucking dude with a dress on that cut his dick off is a chick.
Right, I agree.
You're never gonna convince people to do that.
Unless, of course, you're Jim Norton.
Yeah, but even he knows that they're not. He just likes to fuck them anyway.
I know.
You know, I mean, that's the whole point. And nobody wants to actually say it. Everybody wants to have this discussion right here without the sex aspect
of course.
discussion.
Well, nobody wants to be offensive.
Yeah, well, the only thing in this discussion is sex. It's about fucking.
Yeah.
That's what this discussion is. It's not about, you don't cut your dick off so that you feel more feminine.
Right.
You cut your dick off because you want them to reform that shit so somebody else can go up in it.
Exactly.
That's what it is. You know, and they need to have that conversation and fucking realize that it's just the fucking cries of the pathetic that have been taught since they were born, which is this whole new generation, that they don't have to adapt to the world, that the world has to come to them.
Well, again, it's the whole, I mean, this even goes to racial relationships.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this whole uprising in the end of 2014 that has to do with the race relations that, we don't have to conform to the standard.
Yeah, of course not.
You know, we should be able to just be thugs, or we should be able to burn stores, or we should be able to do this, and we should not be called out on it.
Yeah, we should have no consequence for bad behavior.
Exactly.
And this is the same thing. I'm not saying it's bad behavior,
but it's a behavioral thing.
Yeah, it's a choice.
It is. It's a behavioral issue.
You're choosing not to adapt to what you've been dealt.
Right.
And you know what? Back in the day, that was met by our dads with a fucking belt.
Exactly.
Our dad would beat the fucking straightness into us. Seriously.
Yeah.
Dude, when you were growing up, you're a little older than me. If you would have come home and said, you know what, Dad, I think I want to kiss a guy, your dad would have beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, you're right about that.
And you know what? Enough of those beatings, 3-4 of those beatings.
I ain't doing that no more.
You'd be like, fuck that. I'm going to go get me a bitch. You know, I'm going to fucking be straight.
Yeah.
And that was okay. Want the truth? I still think that was okay.
Right.
You know, it's fucking ridiculous the way we fucking, the way we kowtow, the way we pander to the weak is disgusting.
I know.
It's a whole class of pandering to the fucking weakest link,
right?
Instead of making them step up to the strength.
It's the tail that wags the dog.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It's just fucking faggy.
I agree.
And I know I'm not supposed to say faggy either, but
yeah. Well, we're the classic metal show. We can get away with that.
Yeah, we don't care if we're not meeting a goddamn standard.
Exactly. All right, human rights first activist John Gaylord, perfect name.
Perfect for this story.
Said in a statement that the rule change leaves the door open for increased harassment, persecution, and discrimination of transgender people by the Russian authorities. He also said it could deter transgender people from seeking mental health services for fear of receiving a diagnosis that would strip them of their right to drive. Well, first of all, driving is not a right.
No, it's a privilege.
It's a privilege.
Right.
Driving is not a right.
No, it's not.
So
we thought that about healthcare too.
Yeah.
And, you know, apparently we're wrong.
If the regulations do deter people from seeking medical help, this would improve implications beyond the This would have implications beyond the transgender community. Those barred from driving also include people who suffer from mood disorders, anxiety, depression, dementia, and schizophrenia.
Okay, well, let's talk about those things for a minute.
Okay.
You really want a guy that has dementia driving?
No, absolutely not.
Do you really want somebody with Alzheimer's driving?
No.
Do you? What were the other things?
Mood disorders.
Do you want that guy? A guy that might be driving down the street happy and all of a sudden get fucking maniacally pissed.
Yeah.
Him driving.
Yeah, you want him to, run headfirst into a crowd of people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No.
Exactly.
So name another one?
Anxiety. Have a panic attack.
Okay, well, I certainly don't want them fucking driving if they're having a panic attack.
Right.
If they're having constant panic attacks, they need not to be driving.
I agree.
Okay.
Based on the WHO classifications referred in the regulations, drug addicts and pathological gamblers also could be kept from being behind the wheel. What you bet I could hit that crowd of people and get away with it?
Yeah, I'll give you 2-1.
That's a pathological gambler.
20 will get you 40 if you can mow them all down.
Right. Did I get him? Don't worry about it. I got him with my door.
That's right.
Damn. So there you are. So people who want their weenies cut off cannot drive a car.
Well, as it should be.
Yeah. Keep them off my roads, pal.
That's right. No stick shift. That's
Exactly. Exactly. If you can't stand up and pee like a man, you can't handle a steering wheel.
That's right.
Exactly. So when I ran across that story, I was just like, holy shit, that's funny.
I know. Just ridiculous.
Yeah. Russia. It's a place to be.
Right.
It's happening over there.